Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is Elivaras, Senior Player Moderator of League of Angels Fire Raiders. Welcome to Episode 6 of Hero Spotlight, a series where we take a look at a certain hero, delve deep into their skills, figure out which crests, astral training lines, and runes work best on that hero, and which team compositions that hero works well in. In this episode, we will be taking a look at Dragon Queen, who is right here. Probably my favorite hero in the game right now, definitely my most upgraded, and she does a ton of work. So first, let us delve into her skills. Shoots an arrow of judgment at the enemy with the lowest HP, damaging and stunning him for 2 rounds, and to the enemy with the highest rage, damaging and decreasing his hit for 2 rounds. So this means that when you use effectively added together if there are only one target. So highest damage, lowest HP and highest rage. So the reason this is so good is because the next ability, Fire Dragon, hits the enemy with the highest attack. And usually Dragon Queen's abilities, if you're using like good crust on her and using her as a DPS, will do a lot of damage. Meaning that Fire Dragon is going to be cast on their highest attack hero and do a lot of damage to him. What does that mean? That hero is going to be the lowest HP hero. And that means that when she uses her ability, she will snipe down that lowest HP hero, and which will, most likely because of the Fire Dragon, be their DPS. They will also hit the enemy with the highest rage. So, usually what will happen is this will end up only hitting one hero, just because the unit with the lowest HP is probably the one with the highest rage, because they've been hit a lot of times and gained a lot of rage because of those hits. But it's really nice when you can hit some squishy enemy backliners with 1 hit each. These two abilities work really well in tandem to each other. Actually, all of her abilities work really well together. Her next skill, Frost Skill, shoots Frost Skills to 2 enemies with the highest rage, deals damage, and decreases rage. So, like, she's got a huge DPS ultimate. She's got a good DPS Fire Dragon. She's got a pretty good DPS Frost Scale, which can do a lot of damage to squishy targets as well. Dragon's Descent awakes her dragon power to increase her attack and at the same time decrease all damage taken by her allies, which is really good support for the team because this means that they will, of course, take less damage and do more damage. Song of Ice and Fire increase her crit and crit damage. So she gets a passive increased crit and crit damage. So let us first hop into runes. There are multiple runes you can run on Dragon Queen. Duelist is a rune you can run on a lot of DPS heroes, but this only applies if you are at the top of your server, or if you're like, maybe not even top of the server, like really doing really well in cross server as Rel. Oh man, I'm unable to speak. But basically, here's the odd. Okay. But basically, Duelist will give you extra damage for every 10% difference in attack. The only way this is good is if your heroes have a way higher attack than the enemy. If you are not top of your server, there is going to be very little circumstances where your attack is higher than the enemy outside of PvE. It's going to be just mainly PvP combat that you're doing in late game. And a lot of that, if you're running Duelist and you're not top of your server, it's not going to be benefiting you at all, because you're going to be lower defense, lower attack than they will. So Duelist, if you're like top of the server, if you're doing like really well. You can also run Fury, and this is because I think it's in crit stuff is in her runes, and it's also in her skills, meaning that the extra crit damage from Fury is actually pretty helpful because it means she's just going to be doing overall a lot of damage. You can also run Flash with attack percents. This is also if you're the top of your server. Well, if you're near the top of the server, well, maybe not. Flash with attack percents really if you're going for the as much damage as possible as quickly as possible meta. If you're not going for as much damage as possible as quickly as possible, then you really don't need Flash, because that's what Flash is for. If you're not going for that, then you'd be better off going for either Fury or Assault, which I'm going to talk about in a second, because that's just more flat damage. So Assault is the crest I use on her, as you can see. Pretty good Assault crest. Fortunately, not the best substats that I'd like on her. Still good, but Assault with attack percent because it gives her flat plus 20% attack, and the runes themselves and the crests themselves will give her hopefully some more attack. Like, you're looking for the attack bonuses of percentage. So, for example, this 20% right here. But unfortunately, I don't have attack on all of them, so the crest could be way higher. But overall, I like Assault just because of the flat damage boost. So really, if I'm going to tier them, I would say Duelist, obviously, if you're top of the server. Flash, also, really, if you're the top of the server and you can afford to do less damage, probably because the rest of your heroes are already doing enough. If you can't afford to do less damage, like me, because I don't have really other good DPS heroes, then you'd either want to run Fury or Assault. So now let us take a look into her runes. So we go all the way to the bottom. And did I miss her? Oh, there we go. Okay. Runes. So we do have crit chance. I think that's crit chance. Crit chance. So you don't have passive crit. So you first have a really high chance to crit. This means Fury is still going to be pretty good because you're going to have a high crit chance, but you may not have enough crit damage, so then your extra crit damage from those crests, from Fury crests, would help her do a lot of more damage. But the way you're basically going to tier these is, like, all these four are really good. Physical attack, hit, agility, and crit. And, okay, so how are you going to tier these? This, of course, depends on your crest. If you are running Fury crests, your top tier are going to be... First thing you want to get is crit. That is what you want to max. Next, I would say physical attack, hit, and agility are all in the same tier, and then HP afterwards. Agility is always wanted, not just so that she can fire early on. It doesn't need to be the she doesn't need to be the first person who fires. She just wants to be one of the first people. So you don't need to run Flash Crest, but if you get this agility up, she can still be dealing damage early on in the fight, which you want. Hit, obviously, hit is actually really, really good, and I might even put this on par with crit, just because hit chance is super necessary for DPS, because you're not doing any damage if you're not hitting. Therefore, you want hit because you want to hit. So actually, I would probably go crit and hit on the same tier, then agility and physical attack, and then HP, if you are running Fury crests. If you are running Assault crests, Assault will scale based off of your attack, right? It's plus 20% attack. So how do you get more attack? Well, by leveling this physical attack rune. So by leveling this rune, not only do you get more flat physical attack, but you gain a higher percentage modifier because of your Assault rune and the extra substats that could be on those Assault runes. So physical attack first, same on par with hit. Hit definitely needed as before. You're not doing any damage if you're not hitting. Next, crit and agility. Want to get those two up at the same time, and then HP. If you're running Duelist, definitely you need attack. This is going to be the same as Assault, because Duelist will scale based off how high your attack is compared to your opponent's. Therefore, you want your attack to be higher. So, physical attack and hit on the same tier, and then crit and agility, and then HP last. So, next, if you are running... What else? What was the other one I mentioned? Flash with attack percent. So, Flash, obviously. Flash plus 40% of agility. So, Flash gives you plus 40% agility. You want to prioritize agility first, because Flash scales off your agility. So you get more agility, you get a higher percentage modifier because your crest was plus 40% of your current agility. So if you get your current agility higher up, you will get a higher percentage based on that crest. I would still go hit on par with that, because hit is always useful. You need to be able to hit your opponent. Agility is not going to matter if you can't hit. And then crit and physical attack, and then hit, and then HPs, hit points. One thing I would like to say, I didn't really mention in crests, but in the Chinese server, a lot of people are using Aegis on Dragon Queen. When I first heard this, I thought it was really, really weird. Basically, the theory behind them using Aegis is the fact that Dragon Queen is a support. She gives the plus 10% damage reduction, she gives the extra attack, she gets the stun, and she decreases rage through Frostgrave. So the stun of the enemy with the highest attack, highest rage? Something like, no, with the lowest HP. To stun the enemy with the lowest HP. So she has a lot of utility, and that's what they mainly use her for. So if you're going to go for Dragon Queen utility, which is not as popular in NA and EU servers, then you can go Aegis, and that would mean that you would want to run HP first. This is the only situation you would run HP first, just because, well, okay, on a DPS anyway, because Aegis scales off percentage hit points, right? So you want to get your hit points up so you get a higher percentage off of Aegis. So then that, and then you will definitely want to run agility and hit next. Well, HP first, and then hit isn't as necessary because not all of her utility is because she hits, but then it will go agility and hit because you want that stun. Agility necessary so that you can get her early on, getting those rage decreases and stuff, getting that stun off. And then physical attack and crit last, mainly because you're using her as a utility instead of a DPS. So next, let's go into astral training. What do you want on Dragon Queen? First thing first, Leo, the 2 offensive stats. You always want offensive stats, right? This is the only one on a DPS that'll give, well, you always want offensive stats on a DPS, and this is the only astral training line that will give you 2 offensive stats in the form of attack and hit. Hit, obviously, very, very good, because you want to be able to hit those attacks. Especially if you're DPS. Less necessary if you're running Aegis, but if you're running, basically if you're running Fury, Assault, Flash, or Duelist, you're going to want to run Leo first. Then you're going to want to go Cancer, and then you're going to want to go Taurus / Gemini, because I value parry and resilience the same. I used to think that like I would put resilience on par with dodge, but I would take dodge over resilience. And then last, Ares. If you are running Aegis, it's going to be a little different. Obviously, HP is offered in each thing, but you're going for more defensive stats. That said, you still want some hit as well, so you'll prioritize that higher. So first tier would definitely be this row of defensive stats. You're going to want Ares, those defensive stats to help you stay alive. Next, Leo for that extra hit. Next, probably Cancer for the dodge. And maybe Leo and Cancer I value the same. I guess because of the dodge. Maybe I go Leo still higher. Yeah, I'll go Leo. So Ares first, then Leo, then Cancer, then Gemini / Taurus. So those are how I would value your astral training lines. So now let's take a look at Dragon Queen in action. So I've tried to do a few arena battles. Because Dragon Queen is really my only DPS, it has the chance to go pretty wrong. So these two obviously did not go well. The first one was doing really awesome until she died right at the end, and I couldn't finish off their tanky Minotaur, the one hero left, in time. Because I rely on Dragon Queen for the DPS. So let's hop into a replay first. Dragon Queen I use as my only DPS because I don't have really any other good DPSs, so I'm really relying on Dragon Queen. You can see I don't put anyone across from Bamboo Fighter because anyone across from him is dead as soon as he ults if they are if they're a DPS, if they're squishy. So we do get the light binding, we get the stun on Headless Horseman. Here we go with the ult. So anyone there would be dead by Bamboo Fighter. Any DPS there. So we do have the ult. Definitely the control resistant shield, good from Aurora Blade. The light torture on Shadowstalker, very, very critical right there. We do see the ult, and we get a double kill. That is huge, and that's what really swings the fight in our favor. We get the double kill on Pyrona and Bamboo Fighter with huge critical hits. Even though she's running Assault, she still has great critical hit chance and damage. You can really see the utility of Cupid in here as she does the double chaos on Shadowstalker. Now you're going to see a kill, double kill, bam. Shadowstalker, Headless Horseman down, Minotaur, and he's chaos. Fire Dragon from Dragon Queen, Minotaur ults. We do see the stun. Very unfortunate that Aurora Blade's shield ran out. So Cupid doesn't chaos this time. A little unfortunate. We do see the light torture. He is control immune because of Pandora. We have the stun coming out from Aurora Blade. We have the attack decrease, not necessary, but then we have the double from whatever her name is. Dragon Queen, can't even remember. Right, we do see the heal off of Lumia, not necessary, and Dragon Queen with the finish. So you can see how good Dragon Queen is if she's used as a DPS. Let's try and hop into a battle and see if I can actually pull out the win. The reason I have not a DPS down here is because my DPS aren't very good, but also because Shadowstalker, when he hits the backline, he won't kill Dragon Queen, but he will muck either Astral Child or Lumia. I have Astral Child in the front line because there's not much direct damage across from her. It's only Minotaur, and he is not built for damage in this comp. So, here we go. Really, you rely on Dragon Queen to get an opening kill. Now, that is super unfortunate. Thankfully, Dragon Queen actually ults the Shadow Stalker. But what's super unfortunate there is that Light Envoy stunned, and therefore, okay, we see the ult, and Lumia's dead. We do see the ult from there. Dragon Queen, bam. Shadow Stalker's dead. This evens the fight completely. The problem with Bamboo Fighter getting the stun on Light Envoy is that Light Envoy will not be giving rage. So thankfully, Dragon Queen was not stunned by Minotaur there. You can see Aurora Blade really tanking it out here. Unfortunately, she is silenced. We're going to need the shield coming out from Astral Child. Definitely necessary. We do see Pandora's shield coming out. The Aerial Crush. Thankfully, that does not lead to a stun. Unfortunately, Dragon Queen's ult did not pull out the kill. Really, the worry here is that Dragon Queen is going to die. Oh, a huge crit from Dragon Queen really swings the fight in our favor. Takes out Bamboo Fighter. Hopefully she doesn't get stunned. Thankfully she does not. We're really looking for another shield from Astral Child here to prevent her from getting killed. The biggest thing, if Pandora uses her shield, Dragon Queen can take a lot of retaliation damage. We do see the stun on Pyrona. Not necessary, but definitely helps. We do see the kill. There we go. 290,000 crit. We do see the stun. Very unfortunate. A minute 14 left. If Dragon Queen dies, it's game over. We do see the heal. Very unfortunate. Unfortunately. Very unfortunate, unfortunately. We're really looking for Dragon Queen to do some work here. Stun, please, no stun. Oh, that sucked. Big time. This could be really, really rough, especially because he keeps healing up. We're getting no hits on him because all of our... Oh, Radiant. No, he's so close to dead. We do see the shield. The Chaos finishes it off. So now it's really up to Dragon Queen to win this fight for us. If she keeps getting stunned, it's going to be over, which is the huge problem. We do see, there we go, we come out with the ult. We get the kill. Now, if this stuns her, if she is stunned one more time, it's going to be over. Thankfully, we see the Chaos. But she's taken quite a bit of damage. This is going to be so close. We do see the stun. Definitely need a Frost Kill. Please don't die, Dragon Queen. Please don't die. We're going to see the ult. We're going to see Dragon Queen coming in for the finish with the ultimate, and that is it. Dragon Queen closes out the finish with almost no HP remaining. If Dragon Queen was stunned one more time, if Minotaur had not been Chaos and had managed to stun her, it would have been over. Dragon Queen, the huge thing in that fight was being able to get that stun, was being able to get those kills. You can see especially, let's do a quick replay of that battle and we can talk over it again. So we're going to talk over what exactly went really well and what did not go so well. And why. So early on in the fight, we did see Bamboo Fighter getting the stun on Light Envoy. The problem with this is that Dragon Queen usually gets her ult off because right after Light Envoy does her ult, and that's because Light Envoy's ult does rage, gives rage. So we do see the ult from Shadowstar completely decimates Lumia. Thankfully, Dragon Queen responds with a, we're going to pause this here. Thankfully, Dragon Queen responded with her ultimate to kill Shadowstalker. If she had not, Shadowstalker would have gained a lot of rage because he wouldn't have been killed. If she had hit him but not killed him, he would have gained a lot of rage. And he probably would have ulted again and killed her. You can see in the bottom of the screen here, Dragon Queen is at low health. This is a huge problem because Bamboo Fighter can hit the backline, Minotaur can hit the backline, and Pandora can do retaliation. Retaliation is not very good, is good against Dragon Queen because she does a lot of damage. And she does to multiple units, meaning the retaliation will slowly whittle her down. And I don't have any heals in the backline, only the shields. You can see the utility of having Light Envoy directly clash from Bamboo Fighter because Light Envoy takes no damage. We do see the ult. Thankfully, it doesn't stun. Dragon Queen needs to stay unstunned as long as possible. If she's stunned, my team is doing no damage. Unfortunately, we do see the silence and the polymorph. The Chaos comes out, but only hits Pyrona because Bamboo Fighter had his shield. Thankfully, the 68k hit did not destroy Dragon Queen because she was shielded by Astral Child. The ult does not kill. That's a huge problem because since it didn't kill, it's just feeding range for them. And as this fight ticks down and my DPS's health gets lower and lower, there's a lot more potential for things to go wrong. Thankfully, in here, we have a huge 169,000 damage crit on a Fire Dragon from Dragon Queen that saved us in the end. Completely destroys Bamboo Fighter. We do see another hit, so you can see slowly her health is getting whittled down. We do have the stun coming out from Aurora Blade, really nice with that utility. We do see the ult, and that finishes Pyrona. Now, he is really close to dead, and this is where it starts to go downhill. Minotaur, that is. We do see the stun on Dragon Queen, and as Dragon Queen's my only DPS, everyone's doing no damage. He gets a 21k heal, and because everyone's hitting Headless Horseman with their attacks, not much is happening. We don't see a Chaos from Cupid. We have another ult from Minotaur. He's so close to dead, he ults Dragon Queen stun again, another huge problem. A dodge from Headless Horseman means he's not locked up. We do see the Chaos. He dodges the stun there. The Radiance comes in, still so close to dead, but thankfully, Cupid responds with the arrow and kills Minotaur. So now, Dragon Queen is not stunned and won't get stunned because Minotaur is dead. He's going to res though. We do see the Fire Dragon and hits Headless Horseman, and we do see the kill. She's health ticking lower and lower. Thankfully, we have a huge Chaos coming in from Cupid, a 2-turn case. You can see she just took 27,000 damage because she hit 3 times while the shield was up. Took another 17,000. Health is so low. The ult comes in, and she would have died. Well, she might have died if the battle went on any longer, if there was one more ultimate from Minotaur. Because her health just got ticked lower and lower, and I didn't have enough healing and stuff to help her. Alright, so team composition for Dragon Queen. Really, Dragon Queen is useful in any team where you need a good, high-powered DPS. She is so useful. She does tons and tons of damage. And really, it doesn't matter what team you use her in. She's really, if you have a lot of strong DPS on your team, you can use her for her utility aspect in the fact that she has rage decrease, damage reduction, attack increase. She has a stun on their lowest HP hero, which is usually going to be their DPS. So definitely a very good utility kit. If you need some DPS, like you can see, if it wasn't for her, I would have no damage on my team. Pyrona's not strong enough to do enough damage. She's really the guiding light to my team. She's my only DPS, and even though she's the only DPS, she still manages to win the fights just because of how strong she is. So, Dragon Queen, obviously a really strong hero. One of the best DPS in the game. Definitely top female DPS besides Draconia. I would say she's like second best, probably up there. Potentially a little bit lower than Bloodbear, and then an Awakened Blood Baroness that's maxed and crested just because of her invulnerability and how much damage she can do to the whole enemy team. But she's super useful, damaging the lowest HP, which is usually the DPS, thanks to her Fire Dragon attacking their DPS, and also hitting the people with the highest rage as well with her ultimate, and if usually that's the DPS as well, and that means she'll probably kill them. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I hope you had I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for the break in videos. Yeah, sorry for the break in videos. I've just been, super busy, mainly because I have a friend down from the U.S. for 2 weeks. So, I don't have much time to hang him. I can't really hang him out to dry while I film videos a lot of the time and do a lot of planning and stuff. This one I didn't have to plan at all, just because I use Dragon Queen all the time and she's really good and everything makes sense to me about her. So I didn't have to plan it. I could just sit down and do this. So, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. Leave some feedback in the comment section below if there's something I could do better. Maybe if there's a hero that you want to see focused on. I cannot guarantee that I will focus on that hero soon. I will eventually focus on that hero, but be aware that especially if they're male heroes, I may not be able to focus on them for a while just because I don't have much experience with male heroes because they're on a female team. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Cheers, guys.